Hello, hello. Uh-oh. I have something to unpin here. Hey, good people. I hope you guys are well. I hope you all are well. Hello, hello. Come on in, come on in. Let's talk about this. I want to share something with you guys. I want to talk about something with you guys. Can y'all believe that we are like 4 months until the new year? We are 4 months until the new year. It's about 4 months. Hey Bree, we got about 4 months left in this year and we are done. We're going to be going into 2025. Hey Khadijah, how are you guys? I see people on here that I'm not, I don't know. Where are you guys watching from? I'm going to get into what I want to share in a little bit. I just want to wait for a little bit more people to come on, more people to come in, and then I'll start sharing. So I know many of you guys probably saw my post earlier when I said this BS has to stop. It got to stop. So I know you're probably like, what is she talking about? What is she talking about? I know she's not on here talking foolishness. No, I'm not talking foolishness. I'm not talking foolishness. I promise y'all. I'm not talking foolishness. But this BS, these belief systems has to stop. That is the BS I'm talking about. I'm talking about belief systems. Belief systems that we have adopted. They got to stop. Belief systems that has been set up in the mind. Oh, you came for the tea? Bree says she came for the tea. Well, I'm giving you the tea. Get your coffee, get you some tea, get you something to drink, get you some popcorn, because we're gonna talk about this. Okay, I got my coffee right here. So I want to share about belief systems that has been set up in the mind. And these belief systems, it could be good or bad. Everybody, every one of us, we have some kind of belief system in our mind that we believe, that we live off of. And so it says in Proverbs 23:7, it says, as a man think, so is he. So as what we think about ourselves, what we think in our mind, that's how we will live. That's how we live our day-to-day lives, because it's in the mind, and whatever's in the mind, the body will follow, right? So whatever is in our mind, whatever thoughts, whatever words, whatever things that we have believed or have been shaped or conditioned to believe, that is how we will live our life. That is how we live our life, whether it's good or bad. So our mind is one of the greatest assets that we can have. The mind, the human mind, is the greatest asset that we can have, but it can also be a liability. So just as well as it's an asset, it can become a liability, unfortunately, because whatever's in the mind, we will live our life off of, and those things can cost us, or those things can benefit us, right? And so I want you to sit down today and ask yourself this question. Just sit down with yourself, and I want you to ask yourself this one question. And that is, what is in my mind? What belief system is in my mind that I have adopted, or that was planted in my mind, that has become a liability? Ask yourself that question. And whatever comes to your mind, write it down. Write it down. And when you begin to recognize these belief systems that have been set up in your mind, when you begin to acknowledge, like, okay, this is not right, like, that's a lie. When you begin to acknowledge those things, I want you to delete it. Grab your delete button, just like we delete things all day long. Grab your delete button, and I want you to delete it. And when you delete it, I want you to replace it with a good belief system. Replace it with a good thought. Replace it with something else that is going to nourish you, something that is going to benefit you, and that will cause you to grow and not cause you to be stagnant or decay. Because these belief systems will cause you to decay. They're decaying. And so when we replace that and begin to change the way we think about things and change the way we see things, then we have no other choice but to flourish. And so, but I don't want you just to delete it, though. I want you to block it. Block it out of your mind. Because one thing about the subconscious mind is that when you don't deal with things that have been embedded in your subconscious mind, they will continue to come up. It will continue to torment you to a certain degree. It will continue to plague you and bombard you. These things will constantly come up because your mind have been altered. And so if you don't deal with it, it will deal with you. If you don't deal with it, it will deal with you. And so that's why it's important for us to deal with these things in our minds and how we perceive things. Because one thing about belief systems, they will alter your perception of reality. They are designed to manipulate how you see and perceive things, and it will alter your perception of what's really going on in the world, or what's really going on in your world, what's really going on in your life. That's what these things do. And so, like I said, you block it, you replace it, and you delete it. Hit that delete button. And see, these things, these what this liability can look like, it can look like stagnation. It can look like fear. It can look like you not starting a business when you have a desire to do so. It can look like you not writing a book when you have a desire to do so. It can look like you not going back to school when you have a desire to have a certain career, profession, or whatever you want to do. It can look like these things because of certain belief systems that has been set up in your subconscious mind that is causing you to be stagnant, that is causing you to be delayed. And so the thing is that we do what we do because of what we believe. We live the way that we live. We eat what we eat. We do what we do because of what we believe. whatever you believe, you can look at a person's life and have an idea of their mindset. You can look at, without making assumptions, of course, but you can look at where a person is and have an idea of how they view themselves based just off of how they live their life. Because we do what we do because of what we believe. Period. Point blank. Because of what we believe. You believe that in order for you to pay your bills, you gotta get up and you gotta get it. Whether you are clocking in for work, whether you have your own business, or whatever you're doing, you believe that when you go and you clock in on your job, that once you trade your time for money, that they're going to pay you. And that's how you feed your family. So we do what we do because of what we believe. We believe that if we go to the gym and work out, right, it's going to help us to build our immune system. It's going to help us lose weight. It's going to help us with strength training. It's going to help us with all those things. It's going to help us to stay in shape. It's going to help us to live a long time. Right? So we do what we do because of our belief systems. And that is the same thing that happened. We see this belief system that have been developed or created in the book of Genesis. So like with Adam and Eve, when the Lord, they ate the forbidden fruit, right? And then they begin to hide themselves. Why did they hide themselves after they ate the fruit? Why did they hide? They was born naked. And when God created them, he said, what I created was good and very good. But why did they hide themselves? Why did they cover themselves when God came looking for them? Why did they do that? They did that because they believed that they was naked. And God had to ask them that simple question. Who told you you was naked? Who told you that? Who told you you was naked? Who told you these things? Who manipulated your perception of reality into something that is not true? That's almost like these belief systems gaslight as well. They will gaslight you. Your own belief systems will cause you to gaslight yourself. It will alter, like I said earlier, the perception of your reality. Yes. Bree says, wow, like I was saying, like the saying, you are what you eat. You are what you believe. Yes, you are definitely what you eat, because what you eat becomes a byproduct of your body. The food that we eat literally becomes a byproduct of who we are. It takes part of our cells. It goes directly to our cells in our body, and it become a part of us. Whether it's protein, whether it's fat, and it become adipose cells, or whether it is sugar, it becomes a part of us. We are what we eat. We are what we ingest, and we are what has been planted into us. These things, they get planted, and they get nurtured. They get watered, and then now it's a whole root system, and now you got a whole garden or forest, and now you got fruit. Because believing these things is what nurtures that thing. Is what, whether it's good or bad, it nurtures it. When you believe it, it's nurturing it. It's watering it and causing it to grow and just bear more fruit in your mind. And so they perceive themselves to be naked. Belief system. And so the Lord had to come in and make them some clothes so that he can cover them. When the whole time it was normal for them to be naked. It was normal for them. So you see here, the enemy, the serpent, used a lie. Well, he used the truth, but altered it into a lie. when he gave them the fruit because their eyes became open. He used some of the truth and fed them, which was really all deception. So I want to ask you, what forbidden fruit have you ingested? What have you eaten that is causing you to have these belief systems? Because as a man thinks, so is he. As you think in your mind, so is you. So is who you are. What lie, what trauma, what belief system that has been planted in your mind that is causing you not to soar and flourish? I want you to ask yourself that question, because we got to deal with these things in our mind in order for you to really live the life that you desire and the life that you deserve. You got to deal with what's going on up here. I'll say in the past few months, I have encountered so many women that have had so many bad experiences with other women. So it alters their relationships or their perception of future relationships. It has a impact on how they do business, on how they communicate with other women. I've seen women that won't even, they can't even look me in my eyes, and it's so saddening. It really, when I recognize these things, it hurt my heart, because I know it hurt God's heart. Because I know that healing, for one, needs to take place. And I know that they have been hurt or they have been abused by other women. And usually when this happens, when women are like that, they have been hurt by somebody else that is close to them. And it's usually a person of influence in their life, like a mom, a grandma, somebody that is in authority in their life, or, happened when it was a child. And these things, they roll over into adulthood where they can't become, or they can't express themselves because their personality have been altered by hurt. It's been altered by trauma and abuse. It's been altered by word curses and all these other crazy things. So it has shaped and molded their mind. It has conditioned their mind that they're not qualified enough, they're not good enough, that they should be this, they should be that, they got to say it like this, they got to say it like that, or they don't look the part, they don't walk the part, and all these things. And so they live a life of limitation, because you can't go no further than what your mind allow you to believe. You can't live a life no greater than what your mind will allow you. As a man think, so is he. Ask yourself that question. Take some time today and ask yourself that question. What is it that is in my mind that I have adopted, that is limiting myself? Why do I think that way? I remember it was a saying, and this was more so of a superstition or a myth, that at the end of the year, don't wash clothes because you're going to be washing somebody out of your family. That's a lie. That's a belief system. Nobody dies from washing clothes. Nobody dies from washing clothes. Nobody goes to jail because your feet get sweat. See, these are belief systems. These are superstitions, belief systems. And there was a case study that was done on a young woman she was in a hospital, she was dying, and they was going to give her blood transfusions. a blood transfusion to save her life. But because of her belief system, she refused it because she didn't believe in receiving somebody else's blood. And because she had the right to life and she had the right to die, they had to let her die. She refused the blood transfusion because she didn't believe in receiving other people's blood, even if it was to save her own life. So what is that telling us? That people will rather die. They would rather stay in a place of stagnation rather than receiving something or truth that will help them become that better version of themselves, or will help them in whatever aspect in their life, because of belief system. Belief systems have a strong influence on us. Good or bad. But it's not just about what or what can affect us, but also what can help us, right? Because when you take on the belief system of faith and the belief system of having a positive mindset and attitude, those things will also shape who you are for the good. So it's interchangeable, whether it's good or whether it's bad. We need to check our belief systems. We need to do a self-evaluation, sit down and just evaluate ourselves, self-reflect on what has been planted in our minds from our youth, because really that's how these things start. So by the time a person is an adult, they're all messed up in their mind. That's how it starts. It starts when they're young. And just knowing this alone, it even helps us to raise our children a better way that we was raised, right? It helps us to be consciously aware of what we're saying and what we're doing and how we're training them to think. But we got to be conscious of it. Much of it, though, is unconscious. We're not aware of it. It's like a blind spot. And so that's why I'm having this conversation with y'all, so that we can be aware of these things, because it just saddens my heart. It really do saddens my heart when I see these things and I see people stagnated, all because of how they think, all because of what they believe. So I thank y'all. Share this video. Be a blessing to somebody else. We are 4 months into the new year, and we not going into the new year. We are not. It's 4 months left in this year, and we are not going into the new year. Matter of fact, if you take on the mindset that your new year has already started, and you're not moving forward, you refuse to continue to go through life with belief systems that is causing you to decay inside. And one thing about belief systems, they get passed down to generations. So that means the way you think, the way you see life, it can have an impact on your children. They will begin to adopt that same thing. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna let y'all go. I gotta go. I gotta eat some lunch. My husband just bought me some lunch, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna eat. But God bless you guys. I thank y'all for joining me. And share this video. Let it be a blessing to somebody else. God bless y'all. Have a good one.